Welcome to video lecture on virtual lab for Pelton wheel turbine. The aim of the experiment is to conduct the performance test on the Pelton wheel turbine for various head values and for various speed values. Then to plot the operating characteristics of the Pelton wheel. Theory. In this slide we can see the parts of a Pelton wheel power generating turbine, and we can see a color picture of the Pelton wheel, which is actual setup used in a big power generating plant, which is taken from internet source. And we have a line diagram which represents water source and Pelton wheel turbine power plant. First, before going to working, we'll name the parts, starting with water supply tube, that is penstock. So from the reservoir the water is taken all over to the Pelton wheel through the pipes, and these pipes bring the water from the reservoir and they are called penstock. The water coming out from the penstock is directly made to hit over the Pelton wheel blades. These are called Pelton cups or Pelton wheel blades. So these Pelton cups, what we see here, are the major key device to convert kinetic energy into mechanical shaft power. They will extract energy available from the fluid. So what happens here, through the nozzle, this is the nozzle, the high velocity jet. So earlier the water will have pressure energy. When it comes out of the nozzle, it will have kinetic energy. The pressure will remain same as atmospheric pressure, but it will have very good kinetic energy that hits the blade, and water direction will change, and because of that this wheel starts rotating. The flow rate of the water is controlled using a spear. Spear is a sharp edge item. Once we rotate in this part, the spear will move in and out. Accordingly, the flow rate is controlled. So this is called Pelton wheel, or it is a runner, mainly the power extracting part of the Pelton wheel power generation station. And these are Pelton cups, or here they have represented it as buckets. That is also one way. If we have to stop this Pelton wheel all of a sudden due to change in load variation, due to change in the load requirement, here is a braking jet. This will apply the brake on the Pelton wheel, and the whole setup is housed in a casing. Whole setup is housed in a casing. The water after hitting the turbine blades will fall below the tail race. This region is tail race, and this will also be in atmospheric pressure. This is completely impulse turbine, and there is no reaction that is going to happen over the Pelton wheel turbine. It means the pressure energy is not extracted by the blades, only velocity energy or kinetic energy is extracted. So here we can see this is the net head, that means from the water level to tail race level, that is total head which is available, that is that is gross head. From water level to tail race, that is gross head, but the net head is lesser than gross head. What happens when water flows all over these pipelines, turbines, and through some connecting or controlling devices like valves and all, it will lose some of its head. So the net actually available over the Pelton wheel blade is net head. So this setup is tail race. This is the reservoir, and this is connection is penstock. This is housing, Pelton wheel housing. Yeah, in this slide we can see the equations used to plot the graphs or performance parameters. Overall efficiency is the ratio of shaft power to the water power. Shaft power is 2 pi nt by 60, and water power is pressure into discharge. Next we have hydraulic efficiency, that is runner power divided by water power. Then we have mechanical efficiency, that is shaft power divided by runner power, and we have gross head, or we can say this is net head. H, net head, is equal to gross head minus losses in the head, HF. HF is the losses in the head. Here HF can be calculated by the equation 4F LV square by 2GD. Yeah, in this slide we can see actual experimental setup. In the next slide we will directly start doing experiments on virtual lab of the Pelton wheel turbine. This is actual experiment setup which we can see in the labs, physical setup. So here we can see Pelton wheel, and this is the controlling area where a spear will be there. Spear will allow the fluid which is of required quantity. I mean, if you rotate this valve, the spear will move in and out, so that it will control the flow rate or discharge. The water from this pump, this is the pump, will be pumped into the turbine. So this pump will create the head required to operate the Pelton wheel. Here is the mechanical loading. You can see the load acted on the Pelton wheel. Accordingly you can calculate the output power using 2 pi nt by 60,000, and this area is to measure the suction pressure, delivery pressure, so that you can calculate the water energy, or we can say fluid energy, that is pressure into discharge. So here there is a setup for switching on and off. So next, in the next slide we can directly start virtual labs to conduct the experiment on Pelton wheel, then to plot the graphs. Yeah, in this slide we can start virtual experiment on Pelton wheel turbine. Last time in the previous video we have performed experiment for constant head, and in this video for Pelton wheel turbine we will conduct constant speed experiments, and if speed constant, then the variable will be head. The objective of the experiment is to conduct performance test on Pelton wheel under constant speed, then to plot the operating characteristics. The operators or the setup will have the following parts: centrifugal pump. Here what we see is a centrifugal pump. Pressure gauges, these are the pressure gauges. Spring balance, here we have the spring balance, that is dynamic loading. Sorry, it is brake drum dynamometer. So this is a mechanical loading system, and with weight. So there is a brief description on some important terminologies. What do you mean by impulse turbine? What is reaction turbine? What is gross head? What is net head? So we can see that Pelton wheel is a impulse turbine. It's not a reaction turbine. So that means it's a turbine that is driven by the jet velocity, or in case of steam turbines, it is the high velocity steam which has more kinetic energy than pressure energy that impacts on the buckets to generate the power. But in case of reaction turbine, the pressure will also contribute to the power generation over the blades. Even pressure energy, part of the pressure energy is extracted over the blades, moving blades, with the help of moving blades, like that. So to start with, the first option is to press the start button. Because this is a constant speed experiment, we will fix the RPM to say some 600 RPM. Start. So here now we have to open the tap. So now the flow has started and we have applied here 1.8 kg of load. So the weight of the load what we have applied to the brake drum dynamometer is 1.8 kgs. Because of this, it applies some torque, resisting torque to the rotation, and that we have to measure, which is nothing but perpendicular distance into the force acting on the wheel. And if we do the product of these two and these three, we will get the answer. Yeah, we can see that the torque value is 1.91 Newton meters. After the torque, next we have to set the speed of the turbine. Here actually what happens, the RPM will change with the valve. So we'll bring the RPM back to 600 RPMs. Once the RPM is fixed, we have changed the discharge and we should know how much is the discharge value that we are allowing it into flow to the turbine. So for the 600 RPM, the delivery head of the water over the Pelton wheel is 10 meters. So we have supplied 10 meters of head so that the Pelton wheel will rotate at 600 RPM. Remember, RPM now we are fixing it to 600, but head has to change. The head has to change. So the total head is sum of delivery head plus Z is nothing but the height at which the turbine is placed. Yeah, the summation is 10.33. Once we know the RPM and head, with the help of RPM we will get the power input, but now with the help of Pelton turbine we need to measure the discharge. This is hook gauge. Let us measure what is the discharge. So with the help of notch, say V notch, the reading of the discharge can be calculated by the equation given here. So we will substitute H value here. Only H is the variable. CD is the constant that we will get from this table. It's a 90 degree V angle. theta is also given, so we'll calculate and we'll substitute now. Yes, the answer is 0.003 meter cube per second. Now we have input power, that is pressure into discharge, that is nothing but rho GH into Q. Rho is density, G is acceleration due to gravity, which is nothing but Y. Y is rho G, rho into G, and H is the head over the notch. So sorry, head over the turbine. So with the help of head over the turbine, we can calculate the input power. Output power is shaft power, which is nothing but 2 pi T by 60,000. Sorry, 60,000 in terms of kilowatt. We can take it as kilowatt. Then efficiency, output by input power. What is the efficiency of the turbine? We can calculate by output power by input power. Now we'll substitute these values. After substitution, these are the efficiency values. The turbine is giving 39 approximately, 40% of efficiency. The next option is to start with the second trial. So let us change the discharge value so that we can bring the speed to 600 rpm. We'll put the weight. Now after weight, we have to measure the torque. The torque value is 2.5 Newton meter. After loading, we will again operate the valve. So for the second trial, again we have to bring the speed back to 600 rpm, but the head of the turbine has changed. Constant speed head is changed because we are operating the valve here. So now see, earlier it was 10. Now with 2 kg of load, to have 600 rpm, we have to supply 2 meters of extra head. That's why now this value is 12.33. Operate the V-notch hook gauge. This is initial reading. So after, when water level comes up, it will give the final reading. So the difference is head of the water. With the help of this equation for V-notch, we will calculate the discharge value. These are the variables that we have to substitute in the equation. So after calculation, we will substitute the value. Now again we have to calculate the input power, output power and efficiency. We will calculate and we will substitute the value now. Yes, for second trial, the efficiency is 40.56. Earlier it was 39. There is improvement in efficiency, only 1% improvement. This is third trial. Similarly, please continue with all the trials so that we can directly move on to the graphs or performance characteristics. After third reading, the last step is to stop the pump by pressing the stop button. We can increase the weight on the hanger. We can perform the experiments. The next step, we have to compare the operating characteristics, that is the efficiency variation with respect to output power, efficiency variation with respect to the discharge, and what is the discharge required for a given output power. So the first curve, x-axis, we are plotting output power, y-axis is efficiency. We can see that for higher output powers the efficiency is more. If the turbine is operating at lower powers, its efficiency is slightly less compared to higher power outputs at 400 watts. But at that higher efficiencies, the flow rate is also high. To get the higher power output, we need to supply more discharge. For higher efficiency, we need higher power, and to get higher power, we need to supply more discharge in terms of meter cube per second. So that is what it says. Again, same curve. To have good efficiency, we need good power. To have good power or higher power values, we need to supply more discharge in terms of meter cube per second. So this is all about virtual experiments on Pelton wheel turbine.